Voters in 3 states head to the polls today to cast their ballot in key primary races ahead of the November midterms.
The outcome of these races could have a significant impact on the nation's political landscape moving forward. Races are being held in New York, Florida, and Oklahoma. The Empire State is hosting its second primary this year. This includes a special election in the state's battleground 19th district. And in Oklahoma, voters are participating in a runoff election to determine who will represent the Republican Party in November for the state's vacant Senate seat. CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us in Studio 57 now for more on this. Scott, it's really great to see you in person.
So exciting.
Welcome. A very busy day for you ahead. So let's start about 2 hours north of where we are sitting right now, upstate New York, where you have the 19th Congressional District with a key special election today. I'm wondering how this issue of abortion rights might be factoring in, because we've seen this come up across the country in other districts. How is that factoring into this particular race today?
That issue makes what would otherwise be a very sleepy, quiet election into a national phenomenon that both parties and both party insiders are watching closely. It's a special election to fill the remaining months of a seat that was vacated. Here's the thing. This election, Democrats are trying to make about abortion rights. It's the first real head-to-head competitive election since the Supreme Court overruled Roe versus Wade. So it's our first harbinger of what's to come in November, when there are competitive elections and Democrats try to make that a primary issue. You see the two candidates on your screen. Mark Molinaro, the Republican county executive of Dutchess County on the east side of the Hudson River. The Democrat is the Ulster County executive, Pat Ryan, on the west side of the river. Pat Ryan is trying to make abortion rights a primary issue to galvanize and mobilize not only voters, but support around the nation. And you can see it in his most recent campaign ad. Take a listen.
He fought for our families, for our freedom.
And freedom includes a woman's right to choose.
How can we be a free country if the government tries to control women's bodies?
That's not the country I fought to defend. I'm Pat Ryan.
Ryan told me so far it's effective, that he has outside groups who've sent 100,000 postcards to his would-be voters arguing about issues involving abortion rights. The Republican, Mark Molinaro, doing that kitchen table campaign strategy so many other candidates of both parties have employed this year. Take a listen to his most recent ad.
Like paying more for gas and groceries? Of course not. Then why vote for Pat Ryan and Democrats? Democrats will continue spending your money.
Conventional wisdom is if Democrats keep this close or win this seat, for which Republicans had been favored previously, could be an indication there is some Democratic momentum with 77 days till the election.
That's really interesting. Interesting how the combination of military with abortion rights
pivoted right there, didn't he?
Really interesting. You don't hear those two paired together often. But as we're on New York, let's talk about New York City, because House Democrats Jerry Nadler, Carolyn Maloney, two powerhouses at the U.S. Capitol, they're facing off. Only one of them is going to be able to win in the newly created 12th district. So remind us how we got here, how significant it is, and if you already have an odds-on favorite.
Oh, it's significant. It's significant not just inside the Beltway in Washington, because one of two of the most powerful members of the U.S. House is about to lose nomination today and lose his or her seat come January. But here's the thing. New York City is getting its first taste of what other states have tasted already this cycle. Redistricting, the redrawing of maps. It happens after every census. It happened this year in a very messy, lengthy process in New York. And when they redrew the maps, they drew Jerry Nadler and Carolyn Maloney, these two institutions in Congress, to run against each other. You see, there are two other challengers as well for the nomination today. And here's the thing. In some states, a congressional district is as large as the state. Wyoming has one U.S. House member representing the entire state. Go to Pennsylvania, go to Texas, New Mexico. Members of the U.S. House represent districts that are hundreds, if not thousands, of square miles wide. This race today in New York's 12th district unites the Upper West Side and the Upper East Side of Manhattan, which we talked to voters earlier.
Montagues and Capulets.
Yeah, it is. It's two different universes, worlds colliding. Listen to what voters had to say about this reuniting of two parts of Manhattan today.
It makes it very difficult. I feel badly for the people running more than us. But, I think, I don't know. I don't like that they did it, but here we are, and we have to choose.
I think that there are different interests on the east side and west side. There's population is very different, and you know, and both of us have had these representatives forever, and to take two really good people and make us choose, I think is hard.
And you know you're outside a polling location in Manhattan when the cab horns disrupt every voter, every interaction, and every interview. So it's an Upper West Side versus Upper East Side battle. I like the Montague and Capulet analogy. We'll see who wins. Results may not come in tonight, maybe tomorrow. New York's a little more sluggish than other states.
All right. Scott, so great to have you here. We'll be checking in with you.
Good to be here.
Yeah.